God damn. Shivers.
Beginner steps. Step 1. Working yarn, top loops of a stitch. Yarn, Thailand. Single crochet stitch. Round. The exchange of 2 rounds. Step 2. Please search basic stitch. First learn the basic stitch, how to crochet. Step 3. How to read the pattern. Which part of the doll? Which round? Repeat 6 sets of crochet, each set of pattern is 2 single crochet and 1 increase dot after each set of crochets is finished. It changes from 3 stitches in the previous circle to 4 stitches in the circle, because each group has hooked the increase. Total number of stitches in the round. Step 4. Please scan the code to enter the product number. Follow us step by step to explore the fun of crochet. LuNuaFvy hope your crochet journey is easy and happy. If we are not good enough in any aspect, please leave a message below the tutorial. We will continue to improve. Thank you for your support and suggestions. Now let's crochet this cute little dragon. Let me show you in this color. In the process of crocheting, combine this detailed instruction with our step-by-step tutorial to crochet. There are very detailed step-by-step instructions. Now let's show you before we crochet. The net weight of this wool, 46.7 grams. We'll weigh it out when we're done with the hook. We have plenty of extra wool for trial and error. So you can safely try. Now let's start crocheting this dragon. This is a solid color design. It's all one color. Let's hook the head first. Next hook fold Y. The VOD Y is hooked from the bottom up like this. Then hook 2 corners. Then hook various. Here we have a detailed illustration of the ear. We combine this pattern and text, along with our tutorial to slowly crochet. It's not that hard. Then 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 wings. The hardest part is the 2 wings. Here we combine in a variety of ways. Try to make crochet as easy and clear as possible. You can also combine pattern, text and tutorial together to crochet. Finally, the tail. These parts, we'll assemble it after the hook. Now we're going to start crocheting the head first. The first one is to do a magic circle. The magic circle method is, we combine these 2 fingers. Wrap the thread around the 2 fingers twice. And then bring the circle. Hold the line here. The way to support the wire is to wrap the wire around the circumference of the finger. Then put the thread on your finger. Bring back the circle. In this case, now let's get the crochet hook. Crochet hook, we can take it like this. You can take it like this. Now the crochet hook goes through the circle that was just formed. Hook a coil like this. This creates a magic circle. And then we're going to hook a chain stitch. Chain stitch. A crochet hook is wound. Crochet hook this coil. Bring out the original coil from the crochet hook. In this way, it's a chain stitch. Here we are. Put this finger on this coil. Hook like this. Now we're gonna hook 6 single crochet. 6 single crochet marks the first circle. Let's hook the first single crochet. The crochet hook goes through the circle. Crochet hook a coil over here. Now there are 2 coils on the crochet hook. Crochet hook another coil. Finish these 2 coils. Here we have this V-shaped. This one is V-shaped. The same pin that just hooked the crochet hook. That's the first stitch on the first lap. On the first pin of each turn, we add a marking button. Then hook the second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. The sixth single crochet. When we're done, let's count if it's 6 single crochet. That is, not 6 V-shaped. Then we tighten the coil. The way to rewind the coil is to pull the end of the wire. See which of these 2 circles is moving. It's this circle that's moving. We're going to pull this loop. This side near the thread. In this case, if you pull this thread, it's tightening the other wire. Until there is no gap between them. And then we pull this thread. Finish this thread. Cut the thread. This way, the first circle of the pattern is completed. Also, tightening the coil is done. Every turn, we're gonna V on the first pin here. That's where we're going to clip the button. Here's a ship stitch to finish the circle. Remove marker buckle. The crochet hook goes through this pin of the marked buckle. That's the first stitch to hook a ship stitch. A ship stitch is a crochet hook that hooks a coil. Take this coil straight out of the hook. This coil on the needle. Let's do it again. So this one. It's the stitch of the ship stitch that was just hooked. Because each turn of this ship stitch, not counting a stitch in this circle, it's just a transition. We're trying to make this place look better. We need to reduce the stitches of this ship stitch. The way to make it smaller is to grab the fabric with this hand. Hold the crochet hook over here. Pull in this direction. This makes the stitch very small. We were on the second hook. You don't have to worry about the stitch. Just hook it over the other 6 stitches. Let's ship stitch this. Think of it as a stitch that ends the circle. Serve no other purpose. So the first lap is done. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook another 6 increase stitches. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 12 stitches in all. Mark the location of the buckle, which is the first stitch on the first lap. Here comes the first increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. The first increase stitch. Hook 2 single crochet in the same stitch. This is an increase stitch. 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. The first pin of each turn is marked with a buckle. Then hook the second increase stitch. The third increase stitch. The fourth increase stitch. The fifth increase stitch. The sixth increase stitch. Sixth increase stitch. After hook, that's where the ship stitch is on the first lap. There's a second circle. Chain stitch here. We don't need to worry about these 2 stitches. 12 stitches. We can count them when we're done. It's not 12 V-shapes. That's the end of the second circle. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. So the ship stitch is very small. That's the end of the second loop. The third loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more with a single crochet and an increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. That's 18 stitches. Now let's hook the first group. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle. Marking buckle. And increase stitch. That's the end of the first hook. After the hook, there are 3 stitches. The second group had a single crochet and increase stitch. The second set of hooks is over. The third group had a single crochet and increase stitch. Third set of hooks is over. Then there are 3 more sets. We'll hook it up together. After 6 sets of hooks, we can count if it's 18 stitches. Preferably after each turn of the hook, let's count the stitches. If it's not right, untie it. That's it. Go back and hook again. Because of the hook process, it's possible we missed one of the stitches or the wrong hook. Then remove the marker. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The third loop is over. The fourth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets of 2 single crochet and 1 increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. That's 24 shots in all. Now let's hook the first set of 2 single crochet. This was the first single crochet with a marker buckle. The second single crochet and increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. After the first set of hooks, there are 4 stitches. The second group had 2 single crochet and increase stitch. The second set of hooks is over. The third group had 2 single crochet and increase stitch. The third set of hooks will be returned. There are 3 sets and we'll hook it together. "24 stitches on the fourth lap. When we're done, let's count if it's 24 stitches. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The fourth loop is over. The fifth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets of 3 single crochet and 1 increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 30 stitches in all. Now let's hook the first group. 3 single crochet and increase stitch. After the first set of hooks, there are 5 stitches. The second group, 3 single crochet and increase stitch. The second set of hooks is over. Then there are 4 more sets. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marking button after the 5th circle of pattern hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 5th loop is over. Next 6 through 11 are the same. You start with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. These laps are all single crochet. Each round is 30 stitches. Now let's hook the first single crochet. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. All single crochet. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after the 6th circle of pattern hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 6th loop is over. Laps 7 through 11 are the same as lap 6. We'll hook it up together. Single crochet on lap 11. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 11th circle is over. The 12th turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets of 3 single crochet in the decrease stitch. Then hook a ship stitch. That's 24 shots in all. Now let's hook the first group. 3 single crochet. A decrease stitch. Decrease stitch means to combine 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Decrease stitch method is, use a crochet hook to pick the first half of both stitches. Each stitch is a V-shaped. This needle near us. This half is called the first half stitch. Away from the other half of us. It's called the back half stitch. A decreasing stitch is a crochet hook. Pick the first half of the 2 stitches to hook. Now let's get to the crochet hook. Pick the first half of the first stitch. Pick the first half of the second stitch like this. Crochet hook a coil. Finish these first 2 halves. This is after the hook. Now there are 2 coils on the crochet hook. Crochet hook another coil. Finish these 2 coils. This one is 1. Decrease stitches to combine the 2 stitches into 1 stitch. After this set of hooks, there are 4 stitches. Then we hook a second set of 3 single crochet. A decrease stitch. The second set of hooks is over. The third group had 3 single crochet. a decrease stitch. Third set of hooks is over. Then there are 3 more sets. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after 6 sets of hooks. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 12th hook is over. The 13th turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets, to single crochet and a decrease stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. That's 18 stitches. Now let's hook the first set of 2 single crochet. A decrease stitch. After the first set of hooks, there are 3 stitches. The second group had to single crochet. A decrease stitch. The second set of hooks is over. Then there are 4 more sets. We'll hook it up together. After 6 sets of hooks, remove marker buckle. Mark the location of the buckle, hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 13th loop is over. The 14th turn is a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets, a single crochet and a decrease stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. Now let's hook the first group. A single crochet. A decrease stitch. The first set of hooks is followed by wide stitches. The second group had a single crochet. A decrease stitch. The second set of hooks is over. Then there are 4 more sets. We'll hook it up together. After 6 sets of hooks, let's knot hook ship stitch. Start with the fillet cotton. Remove marking clasp after filling cotton. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 14th loop is over. The 15th turn is to hook a chain stitch. Add 6 more decrease stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. Now we're going to hook the first decrease stitch. Marking buckle. Second decrease stitch. There's a decrease stitch all the way around. After we made a decrease in stitch, this way to determine which stitch is hooked, which stitch is not hooked. Pull this crochet hook. See which wire is here. Which wire is moving? Which thread has been pulled up? This thread is being pulled up. That means this one has been hooked. This one is the yarn that is not pulled. So this one stitch is not caught. So if we keep hooking, it starts with this stitch. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place with the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. This is the last lap of the head, so we hook another ship stitch. This connection. Leave a little thread here. Let's just take care of this last lap. Don't leave the thread too long. Now let's use a needle to take care of that last lap. Make a loop around the first half of the last loop. Tighten the thread along the seam. When you're done, put the needle through the center here. Pull the wire tight again. Make this as flat as possible. This makes the hole look a lot better. Now let's cut the thread. This is the end of the hook for this head. Now we hook the body. The first circle is a hook and a magic circle. Then hook a chain stitch. Then I hook 6 single crochet hooks. The first single crochet, marking buckle. The second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, fifth single crochet, the sixth single crochet. After the hook, count if there are 6 V-shaped. Tightening coil. Pull this thread. See which circle is moving. It's the circle that's moving. We pull on this coil. And then pull on this thread. Cut the wire end. This will finish winding. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place with the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. That's the end of the first loop. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook another 6 increase stitches. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 12 stitches in all. Now let's hook the first increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. Add a marker button here on the first pin. The second increase stitch. The third increase stitch. Then there are 3 increase stitch. We'll hook it up together. After the hook, the circle is sharp stitches. We can count them. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The second loop is over. The third loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets, a single crochet and an increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. That's 18 stitches. Now let's hook the first group. A single crochet, marking buckle, and increase stitch. After the first set of hooks, there are 3 stitches. The second group had a single crochet and an increase stitch. The second set of hooks is over. Then there are 4 more sets. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after 6 sets of hooks. Hook a ship stitch at the location of the marked buckle to end the circle. Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The third loop is over. The fourth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets of 2 single crochet and 1 increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. That's 24 小次 in all. Now let's hook the first set of 2 single crochet. And increase stitch. After the first set of hooks, there are 4 stitches. The second group had 2 single crochet and increase stitch. The second set of hooks is over. Then there are 4 more sets. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after 6 sets of hooks. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The fourth loop is over. Laps 5 through 8 are the same. You start with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. Each round is 24 stitches. Now we're going to hook the single crochet. The first single crochet with a marker buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. These laps are all single crochet. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after the 5th single crochet. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The fifth loop is over. Laps 6 through 8 are the same as laps 5. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after the 8th single crochet. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 8th circle is over. The 9th loop starts with a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets of 2 single crochet and 1 decrease stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 18 stitches in this circle. Now let's hook the first set of 2 single crochet. A decrease stitch. Decrease stitch means to decrease the first half of 2 stitches. Hook a coil. Finish the 2 first half stitches. Crochet hook another coil. Finish the rest of the coil. That's a decrease stitch. The first set is followed by 3 stitches. The second group had 2 single crochet. A decrease stitch. The second set of hooks is over. The third group had 2 single crochet. A decrease stitch. Third set of hooks is over. Then there are 3 more sets. We'll hook it up together. After 6 sets of hooks, remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 9th loop is over. Laps 10 through 11 are the same. You start with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. Each round is 18 stitches. Now we're going to hook the single crochet. These laps are all single crochet. We'll hook it up together. After the 18 single crochet hooks on lap 11, remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The 11th circle is over. The 12th turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 6 more sets, a single crochet and a decrease stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 12 stitches in all. Now let's hook the first one. A single crochet. A decrease stitch. The first set of hooks is followed by 2 stitches. The second group. A single crochet. A decrease stitch. The second set of hooks is over. Then there are 4 more sets. We'll hook it up together. After 6 sets of hooks, let's knot hook ship stitch. Start with the filler cotton. This is what it looks like after you add the filler. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. Because this is the end of the body hook, so we hook another ship stitch. Leave about 10 inches of wool. This thread is used for stitching. Disconnection. That's the end of the hook. Now we hook the 2 horns of the head. First and foremost, the circle is to do a magic circle first. Then hook a chain stitch. 5 more single crochet hooks. The first single crochet. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. Tighten the coil after the hook. Pull this thread. See which circle is moving. Pull on this coil that's moving again, until there is no gap. Pull this thread again. Finish this thread. This will finish winding. Cut the wire end. Remove marker buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The first hook is over. The second and third laps are the same. You start with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. Both loops are hook single crochet. Each circle is 5 stitches. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. We're gonna pop this front head ourselves. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The second loop is over. The third lap is the same as the second. We'll hook it up together. After the third single crochet, remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. This is the end of it. The corner is complete, so we hook another ship stitch. Leave a line. This thread is reserved for stitching. Break the thread. And that completes the angle. We're gonna hook 2 of them. Now let's crochet 2 ears. Crochet in the process. We refer to this pattern above instruction. There are words to hook. Now tell you how to see this pattern. First, each circle is represented by a different color block. This represents a different number of turns. In addition, this solid oval represents the ship stitch. The hollow oval represents the chain stitch. A cross represents a single crochet. The order of crochet is. So first of all, here's the first lap. Start with 5 chain stitches from here. Returns the start of the penultimate chain stitch. Hook for ship stitch. That's the end of the first loop. The second lap is this part. First hook a chain stitch. Flip fabric. Hook 2 single crochet. That completes the second lap. The third circle is. Hook 3 chain stitch first. Returns the start of the penultimate chain stitch. Hook for ship stitch. That's the end of the third loop. The fourth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Flip fabric. Hook 2 single crochet. This is the fourth lap. 3 chain stitch in the fifth circle. Returns the start of the penultimate chain stitch. Hook for ship stitch. That's the end of the fifth loop. Hook another ship stitch at the end. Leave the line, break the line. And if you hook it on a chain stitch, it's opaque the half stitch. Now we wedge into hook. This is the shape after the hook. First we're going to hook a chain stitch. We need a slip knot before we hook a chain stitch. Then you can hook it. The slip knot looks like this. Cross the lines. Run the thread through the middle. This forms a slip knot. A crochet hook goes through the circle. Pull the thread back, here. Just pull it to the right length. So we can start the chain stitch. Hold the line with your hand. Pinch this thread, here. Let's hook 5 chain stitches. A chain stitch is a crochet hook wound around the thread. The crochet hook takes this coil out of the coil on the crochet hook. This is the V-shaped one that's formed here. This V-shape is the stitch of a chain stitch. Marking buckle. Second chain stitch. The third chain stitch. The fourth chain stitch. Fifth chain stitch. After hook, returns the second to last chain stitch. Here we start to hook the ship stitch down. This is half of the penultimate chain stitch. Half of the penultimate chain stitch. This is where you start to hook ship stitch. A crochet hook through this half stitch. Hook the first ship stitch. Ship stitch is a crochet hook wound around the thread. Take this coil directly out of the coil on the crochet hook. This is a ship stitch, because that's how we hook it all up. So we don't need any more markers here. Second ship stitch. Pick the half stitch and hook the third ship stitch. Remove marker buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Pick the half stitch and hook the fourth ship stitch. This is what happens after the first loop. That's this part. This part of the color. And then the second loop is a chain stitch. First hook a chain stitch. Now let's take a look. This is the chain stitch that we just hooked. This is the ship stitch for the first hook. Take a look. This is the ship stitch. Each needle is V-shaped. And then we were on the second single crochet. All we need to do here is pick half a stitch. Just pick half of these stitches and hook them. The rest of this other half is nothing to worry about. Now we flip the fabric. Let's hook 2 single crochet. Take a look at this side. We're picking this half of a stitch for a single crochet. When choosing a crochet hook, it's easier to hook it like this. The first single crochet. Marking buckle. The second single crochet is also pick the half stitch. You can see it better over here. Pick the half stitch this way. Let the other half of the needle go. In, crochet hook. Hook this half stitch like this. So hook the second single crochet. This is what happens after the hook. Now we hook to this place. The second loop is over. The third loop is the first 3 chain stitch. The first chain stitch. Second chain stitch. The third chain stitch. Returns the second to last chain stitch. This is also on top of a chain stitch. We all pick the half stitch. Just hook the entire stitch on a single crochet. Now we return to the penultimate chain stitch. Here we hook 2 ship stitches on top of the chain stitch. Let's take a look at it after we hook the chain stitch. This is the penultimate chain stitch. The penultimate chain stitch. We're on the penultimate chain stitch. Pick the half stitch, here. This is the first chain stitch. Half of the penultimate chain stitch. This is half of the second to last chain stitch. Return here to start hooking the first ship stitch. Pick the half stitch down. Hook the second ship stitch. You don't need half a stitch down there. If you want half a stitch, you can. It's up to you how you like to hook it, okay? Here hook 2 ship stitch on top of the single crochet. Remove marker buckle. Hook the 4th ship stitch in place of the marked clasp. This is what happens after the hook. Now we'll hook to this place. Now it's time to finish the 3rd loop. This is the shape after the hook. Then we hook the 4th circle. First hook a chain stitch. Flip fabric. Then hook 2 single crochet. It's the same as the second lap of this one. Let's look at it again. This is a whole piece of ship stitch. We'll just pick half a stitch and hook it. You can use a needle to loosen it first. Now we flip the fabric. With a crochet hook, this way to half the stitch. Keep your hand on this side. Hook like this, the first single crochet. Pick half a stitch down. First use the needle and loosen the stitch. Then better hook. Take a look, there's half a stitch left over here. Hook a second single crochet here. The hook is over on the 4th turn. The 5th turn is the first 3 chain stitch. The first chain stitch. Second chain stitch, the 3rd chain stitch. Returns the second to last chain stitch. Hook for ship stitch down. Now we return to the penultimate chain stitch. Find the next 2 last chain stitch. This is the penultimate chain stitch. The penultimate chain stitch. There are 4 ship stitches going back and forth here. The first ship stitch. Second ship stitch. The 3rd ship stitch. The 4th ship stitch. This is the shape after the hook. That's the end of one ear. Finally we hook a ship stitch. Leave about 10 inches of wool for stitching. Disconnection. This is the shape of the ear after the hook. We're gonna hook 2 of them. It's a couple like this. Now let's hook our hands. The first one is to do a magic circle. Make a chain stitch after the magic circle. Then I hook 6 single crochet hooks. The first single crochet. Marking buckle. the second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. The sixth single crochet. Tightening coil. Pull this thread. See which circle is moving. Then pull on the moving coil. Pull the end of the wire when you're done tightening. This will finish winding. Cut the thread. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The first hook is over. Laps 2 through 6 are the same. You start with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Hook a ship stitch at the end of each turn. Each circle is 6 stitches. Now let's start the hook. The first single crochet with a marker buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. The sixth single crochet. When you're done with the hook, pop this front out. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The second loop is over. Laps 3 through 6 are the same as laps 2. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marker after the 6th single crochet. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. That's the end of the 6th loop. The 7th loop is hooked VY, folding the fabric in half. First hook a chain stitch. Then came the crochet hook. Cross the 2 symmetrical stitches at the same time to hook a single crochet. In this case, now, crochet hook, go through the first stitch and the last stitch. Hook the first single crochet. The crochet hook goes through the second stitch and the last stitch. Hook a single crochet. This is the third single crochet. It was supposed to be a circle after the hook. Now it's just one side at a time and it's closing. And that's it. So we hook another ship stitch. The thread left stitched is broken. So one hand is done. We need to hook 2 hands. Now let's hook both feet. This is a hook foot. I fill a cotton after hook. The first one is to do a magic circle. Hook another chain stitch. Then I hook 6 single crochet hooks. The first single crochet, marking buckle. The second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, fifth single crochet, the sixth single crochet, tightening coil. Cut the thread end. Remove marker buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The first hook is over. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 3 more sets of a single crochet and an increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 9 stitches in this circle. Now let's hook the first group. A single crochet, marking buckle, an increase stitch. The first set is followed by 3 stitches. The second group had a single crochet, an increase stitch. The third group had a single crochet, an increase stitch. After hook, you can count if it's 9 stitches. Remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The second loop is over. Laps 3 to 4 are the same. You start with a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. Each circle is 9 stitches. Now we're going to hook the single crochet. After the third single crochet, remove marker buckle. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The third loop is over. Round 4 is the same hook as round 3. We'll hook it up together. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The hook is over on the 4th turn. Finally we hook a ship stitch. The thread left stitched is broken. That's 1 foot of the hook. That's what happens after the hook. We add filler cotton. Don't add too much. This is what it looks like when you add the filler. We need to hook the legs all together. Now let's crochet 2 wings. The shape of the wings is like this after the hook. It's like a ladder. The pattern of the wings can be seen in the instruction. Here is the detailed pattern. The pattern first looks at the symbol. This solid oval represents the ship stitch. The hollow ellipse represents a chain stitch. A cross represents a single crochet. This one shape represents an increased stitch. To make it easier for you to tell the number of turns, let's use color to help you distinguish. The first circle is this one. The second circle is this one. The third circle is this color. Circle 4 is this color. Circle 5 is this color. There are also written instructions and drawings of the steps. So don't find it hard. We combine these forms of instruction with our tutorial. Just patiently follow one step at a time. Now let's start crocheting. First of all, the first round is to hook 6 chain stitch. Hook 6 chain stitch first. Before we hook the chain stitch, we need to make a slip knot. To hook a chain stitch, a slip knot is a cross of threads. And put this thread through the middle of the circle. The crochet hook goes through the circle. Pull this thread. Control length. Hold the line with your hand. Pinch the end of this thread. So you can start to hook the chain stitch. Six chain stitch. A chain stitch is a crochet hook wound around the thread. Bring out this coil from the crochet hook. This one is V-shaped. It's a chain stitch. This is the first chain stitch. We add the marker buckle. Second chain stitch. The third chain stitch. The fourth chain stitch. Fifth chain stitch. The sixth chain stitch. Sixth chain stitch. After hook, you can count if it's 6 V-shaped. Then return the second to last chain stitch. Beat the half stitch to hook for single crochet and the ship stitch. Let's take a look at this. This is half of the penultimate chain stitch. A V-shaped is a stitch. This half is half a stitch. We're looking for half of the second to last chain stitch. This is where the hook starts coming and going. If you hook a chain stitch, you pick the half stitch. Now we hook. the first single crochet. A crochet hook goes through half of the penultimate chain stitch. Hook the first single crochet. Marking buckle. A crochet hook goes through the half of the next chain stitch. Hook the second single crochet. That's for single crochet hooks. This is the fourth single crochet, and then on this spot where the button is marked, hook a ship stitch. Ship stitch is a crochet hook through this half stitch with a coil. Take this coil directly out of the coil on the crochet hook. The last one is a ship stitch. That'll take us through the first loop. That's where the hook ends. This is the shape after the hook. And then we hook the second loop. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. A chain stitch. Flip fabric. Let's hook a ship stitch. A single crochet. An increase stitch. 2 single crochet. Now let's look at it. This one is the chain stitch that we just hooked. This one is the last stitch on the first lap. Now that we've flipped the fabric, start the hook down from this one stitch. Flip fabric. First hook a ship stitch. Marking buckle. Now we've hooked this ship stitch. Then hook a single crochet. Then hook an increase stitch. Increase stitch is 2 single crochet hooks in the same stitch. Then hook 2 single crochet. Sew these 2 single crochet guys. This is the end of the second loop. That's where we hooked now. This is what it looks like after the hook. The third loop is the first 3 chain stitch. The first chain stitch, second chain stitch, the third chain stitch. Returns the start of the penultimate chain stitch. Let's start with 4 single crochet hooks. Single crochet on chain stitch, we pick the half stitch to hook. Now, let's say this is the penultimate chain stitch. This one is the second to last chain stitch. This is where we're gonna start the hook down. Here's a chain stitch. 2 chain stitch, hook 2 single crochet pieces over the 2 chain stitch. All that's left is to hook the fabric. We are now returning the penultimate chain stitch. Here, hook the first single crochet. Marking buckle. Returns the second to last third chain stitch. So you go down here and you go down this chain stitch and you pick the half stitch. Hook the second single crochet. And then it's snagged on the fabric. The fabric is hooked straight through the entire stitch. 2 single crochet hooks on the fabric. An increase stitch. Two single crochet. A ship stitch. It's right here on the mark. That's the end of the third loop. Now we hook here. This is what it looks like after the hook. The fourth circle is this color. First hook a chain stitch. Flip the fabric to start to hook. Start with 2 single crochet hooks. First hook a ship stitch. 2 more single crochet hooks. A ship stitch. Marking buckle. Two single crochet. An increase stitch. Five single crochet. And now we're down on the fourth lap. Now hook it here. This is what happens after the hook. The fifth turn is the first 3 chain stitch. The first chain stitch, the second chain stitch, the third chain stitch. Returns the second to last chain stitch. First hook a ship stitch. Now here is the penultimate chain stitch. The penultimate chain stitch. We pick the half stitch, here. First hook a ship stitch. Pick the half stitch. We can use a crochet hook like this. This is the last lap, so there's no need to add the button. Then hook down. 6 single crochet. On top of the chain stitch is picking the half stitch to hook. Six single crochet. It was the first single crochet. On the fabric we adjust the stitch to hook. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. The sixth single crochet. Then hook and increase stitch. Three more single crochet hooks. Finally, hook a ship stitch, which marks the location of the buckle. Hook a ship stitch here. That's the end of the 5th loop. Now we hook up here. That would be the end of it. So we're gonna hook another ship stitch. Disconnection. We keep about 10 inches of wool. It's used for stitching. And then one wing is done. We're gonna hook 2 wings all together. Because the tightness of the stitch will be different when the hook. So the 2 wings will be a little different in size. If it's a different size, we can pull it. Make it as big as possible. That's how you sew it up when you sew it up. Now we hook the tail. The first is to do a magic circle. Then hook a chain stitch. Hook for more single crochet. The first single crochet. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Tighten the coil after the hook. Cut the wire end. Remove marker buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The first hook is over. The second loop is to hook a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally, hook a ship stitch. Now we hook the first single crochet. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. Let's just pop this one out front. Hook a fourth single crochet. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The second loop is over. The third loop is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 2 more sets, a single crochet and an increased stitch. Finally, hook a ship stitch. There are 6 stitches in this circle. Now let's hook the first group. A single crochet. Marking buckle. And increase stitch. The first set of hooks is over. After the hook, there are 3 stitches. The second group. A single crochet. An increase stitch. Remove the marker after the second set of hooks. Mark the location of the buckle. Hook a ship stitch to finish the circle. Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The third loop is over. The fourth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. That's 6 stitches in all. Now let's hook the first single crochet. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. This lap is all single crochet. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The fourth loop is over. The fifth turn is to hook a chain stitch. Hook 2 more sets of 2 single crochet and 1 increase stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 8 stitches in all. Now let's hook the first set, 2 single crochet. And increase stitch. After the first set of hooks, there are 4 stitches. The second group had 2 single crochet. And increase stitch. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. The fifth loop is over. The sixth loop is to hook a chain stitch. Then hook a single crochet into each stitch. Finally hook a ship stitch. There are 8 stitches in all. Hook the first single crochet in place of the marked buckle. Marking buckle. The second single crochet. Third single crochet. This lap is all single crochet. Remove the marking clasp after the hook. Hook a ship stitch in place of the marked buckle. To finish the circle, Tighten the stitches of the ship stitch. Hook another ship stitch. Leave thread to close broken thread. This is the end of the tail hook. Now let's assemble it. Let's stitch out the head and the body first. We're sure this is where the ship stitch is. This is on the back of the body, here. The place for the ship stitch is also in the back. This is how to determine the position of the front center line. This is a range. It doesn't have to be a specific line. Just place the ship stitch. Just put it all in the back. Then we find the 14th 15th circle of the head. This line in the middle. Between laps. We are now bringing this line to this circle of the body. Now we're going to start stitching. Just put everything on the hook where it connects. This is slanted, we can find in the center. Somewhere in the middle here. The top is also in the middle. We'll be the first to sew it up. The symmetrical 4 points are sewn first, 1 stitch each. Let's get the location down. And then we're gonna sew it all over again. So once you've identified the 4 points, we're just gonna sew up the missing spots. See if there are any more gaps. Just another shot. When we're done, we'll find a place to tie a long knot. Tie a knot anywhere. Hide the knot in. Cut the thread. So you're done stitching the head to the body. Now let's sew the 2 corners of the head. It's sewn on top of the 3rd and 4th loops of the head. Pressure check. We need to locate the center line of the head first. Once you're sure, sew 2 symmetrical angles on each side. This is where it connects. Usually we put it on the back. Just sew for symmetrical points. Tie a knot on the outside when you're done. Head the knot in. Cut the thread. The 2 corners are stitched the same way. We control the direction of the angle V while the tightness of the line. They're all going in this direction. Now we'll sew up both ears. The 2 ears are under the horn. It's between the 6th and 9th circle of the head. This range is in the same plane as the angle. First of all, let's look at this. This is a long piece of wool. This is a short piece of wool. Let's thread the short yarn over to the long yarn first. You can thread the needle first, and then you thread it in. Don't leave this paragraph too long. It's easier to pull the needle. Pull it over and tie the 2 wires together. Tie 2 knots together. When you're done, hide this short yarn in. Because then we just sew with long wool. Cut the thread. Then we sew with long wool. In the corresponding position. Needle in the middle. 2 more stitches, here. It goes in the same hole and out the same hole. Tension wire. Tie a knot on the back to hide the thread. So these are done. Now we'll sew up 5 hands. First we need to follow the center line of the head to determine the center line of the body. Then sew the hands on either side of the center line of the body like this, close to the ground. The hand is sewn on the top of the 2 laps from the 11th to the 12th. The directions are supposed to be separated like this, because it's the only way to stay on the ground. And try to keep both hands on the same plane. Now we'll close it up when we know where it is. It's slanted like this. The 2 hands are next to each other. Another stitch in the middle. To keep the hand from sticking up, let's put a stitch under it. Put your hand down. Look at the symmetry of the stitch down here. Just sew a single layer when you sew. You don't have to go through here. After sewing, tie a knot on the back to hide the thread. So we put our hands down. It's gonna keep hanging down. Tie a knot. Hide the knot in. This is the end of the hand. Now we'll sew up 5 feet. The feet are sewn on the outside of the hand. It's between the 4th and 6th circle of the body. Position of 2 feet. After adding 2 feet, make sure that the dragon can sit. And we can add the tail. The tail is the 3rd to 4th turn on the back. Let's find out where we're directly behind. Put the tail on top of the 3rd and 4th laps. Why do you have to do it with the tail? Because we want to make sure that when we add the feet and the tail, the dragon can sit. This way the feet are in the right position. Your feet should be on either side of your hands. When you're sure, let's sew up the feet. Also sew diagonal seams. First sew 4 points on the diagonal. After sewing to see where the gap is larger, let's get another shot. Tie a knot on the back after sewing. Hide the knot in. In this way, Vav Fatal finished. Now let's sew the tail. We just told you where the tail is. Just find the center line directly behind you. Find it and sew the tail on the top of the third to fourth circle of the body. Here. Also the 4 points of seam symmetry. Make up the gap again after sewing. Finally, tie the knot, hide the thread. Then the tail is finished. Now let's sew 2 wings. The wings are sewn right behind the body. This one right here is the center line. The wings are sewn around the 7th to 10th circle of the body. Within this range, above the two wings is the distance between one pin. Below the two wings is the distance between the two pins. It's shaped like this. Now let's close up. The wings also have two lines. If one is longer and the other shorter, we'll just sew the short to the long. Like this one is shorter. Let's put the short one on this thread, in the corresponding position. Thread the long thread here. And tie it with some long wool. Then hide the short yarn in the same hole here. All we have to do is sew with the long wool. Cut the thread. Now we put the needle in the same place. And then make the stitches in the middle here. Because this distance is relatively short, we can get the needle somewhere else first. Just pick a random place around here, and then put to it where we want to fit. Just looking for a place to transition. Find a place to get a needle. We're going through the same hole right here where we want to go. You can look at it as you sew. The direction of the front two wings is different. Also find a place outside for the transition. Tie a knot on the outside when you're done. We pull the thread tight. Tie a knot. Hide the knot in. Cut the thread. Then the wings are sewn. Now let's glue the eyes. The eyes are taped with heat. First, let's find out where the eyes are. The eyes are fixed to the head. On top of laps 7 and 8. This is the center line. The distance between our eyes is 6 stitches. This is the center line. From the center line to one eye are 3 stitches. Let's count 3 holes. This is where the center of the EYE is. This is the center point of the head. Count 3 holes this way. This is the center point of the other eye. We'll put the eyes in first once we're in position. Put some needles around your eyes, so we can locate the eyes. And we do have a white spot here in the eye. It means there's light coming through. So the direction of the white spots on both eyes should be the same. Like the eyes on this side. This white dot is going to look like this in the same direction. When you stick to your eyes, we'd better get a shelf to hold it down. That's it. Slanted like this one direction is easier to stick. Now around this eye we have. Be settled. That's it. The 2 white dots are in the same direction. Now let's heat the tape. After the strips melted, put some glue on your eyes. This speed has to be faster before the glue sets. Glue on. Press for a moment. All this extra glue out here. Just take it off when it's dry. If it sticks after, people don't think it's the right place. We could use a blower or something hot. Heat this eye on the side. Let the glue melt. Then take it off. And reglue the eyes. Another glue that sticks to the fabric. You can also melt it by heating it. Just take it off once it's melted. Now this eye is all glued up. And this lovely little dragon is finished. He could sit like this. We can crochet many colors. This is white. The yarn we use is a hook. Black and white. I want you to see it more clearly. That's why we showed it in blue. The lovely pair of dragons. After the hook can be used as decoration. On the table or on the counter. It can also be given as a gift. Kitchens can be added as a decoration for bags or keys. Can also be placed on the car decoration. Many uses. It's a very thoughtful gift.